Hey everyone, my name is Noah Meehan, back on The Art of Truth, and I am going to be reviewing a little bit of Solo, a Star Wars story. So if you don't want any spoilers, and if you want to still see the movie despite some of the boycotts, and you don't want to hear anything about the movie, then I'm just going to give you at least 5 seconds before I actually get into the spoiler section. Okay, so I enjoyed it, the movie itself. I know there was this whole craziness in terms of social justice warriors and that sort of thing, like how Lando was considered pansexual, but in fact I didn't really get that much. In fact, the only thing I would get out of that would maybe suggest Lando being pansexual is basically from L3 saying that he may have feelings for me, but she just puts them off while he was talking to Emilia Clarke's character. But other than that, there's no mention of it, no mention of such a thing. In fact, it's kind of Lando Calrissian is actually a little bit annoyed with her in some cases, but it's more like they are in a love-hate sort of relationship. You can't live with them, but you can't live without them. It's just kind of sort of a weird kind of mentality. L3, which is definitely not my favorite character, but she isn't the worst. She isn't like Holdo, but she definitely had some periods where it was like, okay, no more. But while I was driving back home with my mom, I did look at YouTube videos from Boofire111, and he actually thought that maybe L3 is actually supposed to be a parody of social justice warriors, and maybe Kathleen Kennedy in general. And considering from the amount of screen time she was given, and how over the top she is with her beliefs, I would actually say that's actually very plausible. In fact, I was never really taught to take her that seriously, because a lot of the characters didn't really take her that seriously. They felt a little bit annoyed and a little disinterested of what she was talking about, and I think those guys actually were representation of the audience in general, because when we were first given that in The Last Jedi, we were definitely turned off by that. In fact, you could see by Rotten Tomatoes that it was 49% the last time I checked for The Last Jedi. But because of that turned off, I think that actually caused her character to be at least a little bit funny in my opinion. So yeah, that's so she does start a droid rebellion a little bit to mainly free her brothers and sisters from the bonds of slavery, the droids I mean, and unintentionally also frees the slaves as well. But yeah, in a way she kind of does this in a little bit of a comedic way. Like, we're not supposed to take her seriously because she's so over the top. So that's why I don't consider her a great character. But I don't consider her to be the worst character. In fact, I kind of think that that the amount of time she had on screen was actually a blessing, because I didn't really want to hear any more of the bullshit of social justice and that sort of thing. And immediately when I saw that in the film, that felt misplaced. But again, I'm glad that she wasn't in there very long, and that in a way she was definitely showed more as a parody to both Kathleen Kennedy and social justice in general. Now, to get on with a few other things, Donald Glover, he was definitely good as Lando Calrissian. I definitely got that smugness back from the original Lando Calrissian, and there was no social justice behind that. No idea, no mentioning of the whole pansexual thing. Just only from L3, like I said before, but he definitely played the part of Lando Calrissian pretty good, and I think he actually, despite not having as much screen time as Alden Ehrenreich, which I will get to him pretty soon, he definitely carried the movie. I definitely got the scoundrel personality of Lando Calrissian, because he was played Sabak, especially when he first meets Han, and then at the very end, he loses the Millennium Falcon to Han Solo and Chewbacca at the end of the movie. In fact, when he was playing Sabak, he turns out he was a big cheater, and yeah, he was a big cheater. So that definitely shows his scoundrel personality. And he's also a ladies' man. He was definitely trying to wow Emilia Clarke's character, which she is okay. She didn't really seem I didn't really seem that much invested too much with her, but I thought she did pretty okay on her part. But I admit that I'm more surprised to see that she was actually I think an agent for Darth Maul, who was hiding on Tatooine the last time I checked. So that was definitely a big reveal, and I wonder, with this revelation, what is this going to lead to? That I would love to know. And considering the whole idea of a trilogy behind Solo, that might actually be something worth exploring. I don't know. Maybe not. But, because, well, some of the Star Wars community is kind of skeptical on the idea of Solo having his own trilogy, or, well, at its current state. But, yeah, I thought Donald Glover was definitely pretty good, and that Emilia Clarke's character was definitely played very well. But while not the most memorable character, I would probably would like to see a little bit of her own character being more fleshed out. Maybe that would happen in like sequels or something if that actually happens. I don't know. But to continue on, Alden Ehrenreich, I understand why people thought he was not a good choice for Han Solo. I completely understand that, and then to some extent, I would have to agree with you. But as I was watching it, I definitely thought that he was doing his best, and I thought that he passed with flying colors. Yeah, he's not Harrison Ford, and he's not the other guys who auditioned for the role, but I thought that he definitely played a young Han Solo pretty good. He wasn't the best throughout the entire movie. Again, that goes to Donald Glover's Lando Calrissian, but still, he did his very best. So I wouldn't expect that much from him. Well, I wouldn't expect too much criticism on his part. He was actually doing very good. And Beckett, and I forgot who plays him. I'm sorry, I forgot. He was definitely the mentor of Han Solo, and I definitely felt a lot of that scoundrel and smuggler personality. Probably more than even Lando. Sorry, I had something to eat earlier. Probably more than Lando and Han Solo combined throughout the film, because he was definitely played both sides. He's with Han Solo one moment, then he's with the bad guys the next, then he's by himself. I like that, honestly. And I think that sets up the idea of who a smuggler or a bounty hunter or a scoundrel is in Star Wars. I like that. Now, it's true that the plot did not add everything to anything new to the Star Wars universe. Not too much, but I definitely did like the fact that the Kessel Run was shown to have happened. And I have to admit, I was blown away by what Han Solo had to go through. But yeah, it didn't really offer too much, but it was definitely entertaining. So if I were to give this movie a grade from 1 to 10, I would say it would be a 7. A 7 out of 10. There were definitely a few problems, and the social justice idea was definitely a turn off. But I thought that that everything else was pretty good, and I think it served its purpose to entertain and to maybe sell out the idea of more spin-offs with showing Han Solo at his younger days. I think that's what the director was trying to do. Now, if I were to say this movie would save Kathleen Kennedy, I hope not. I really hope not. Again, the social justice warrior bullcrap is definitely a major turnoff to me. In fact, it's a turn-off to a lot of Star Wars fans who just want to be entertained, just want to be invested into this lore. And they're tired of this crap that's been going on with the whole pansexual thing. In fact, I recall back in 2005 that there was a big issue concerning SJWs about whether or not Poe Dameron and Finn were actually a gay couple, despite the fact that what reason is there for that to happen? How would that contribute to the overall storyline? I forget my political beliefs for a second, but again, how would this contribute to the overall story? That was the problem, and I don't think that this movie is gonna save Kathleen Kennedy's career. In fact, I hope it doesn't. I hope that she's fired, or at the very least, is taken out of her position as president of Lucasfilm and given to someone more confident. Maybe she could be into business or marketing or that sort of thing. But she is definitely not capable of running Lucasfilm. That is what I think. Maybe I actually think that people like Dave Filoni should be the president of Lucasfilm. He's been awesome when he comes to giving us Star Wars. In fact, he's turned cringy characters into characters that we eventually love. I recall back in 2008 that, although at the time I love Ahsoka Tano, a lot of people actually hated her. But then over time, thanks to the TV series, she was more fleshed out, more developed, and became one of the most loved female characters ever in the history of Star Wars. So I would love to have a person like Dave Filoni to be in control of Lucasfilm. I would have no complaints with that. In fact, if I were the executives at Disney, I would definitely consider Dave Filoni for the job. To be completely honest, but again, this is not set in stone, so maybe Kathleen Kennedy might dodge a bullet, maybe not. But if there's a sort of change, I hope it's definitely someone way more confident, like Dave Filoni. Definitely the number one apprentice of George Lucas. That's all I have for you for today. My name is Noah Mianon, the Arc of Truth. Please post your comments down below, share this video, subscribe, and like this video.